Hey everyone, welcome back here at Coin Compass. For those who are new here, my name is Quentin, and in this video I'm going to talk about my top 10 crypto holdings going into 2025 and hopefully going into a good bull market with, again, hopefully a good alt season. So in this video, I'm going to explain my top 10 crypto holdings. I'm going to compare them with last year because I'm doing this video every year. So you can see like the percentages that have changed, but also which ones are new in my portfolio, which ones are gone, and some extra honorable mentions. So without further ado, let's dive into it. And the first one is one that is actually out of my portfolio, one of my main holdings of last year that is now totally sold. So I sold all my Polygon. Why did I sell my Polygon? Very simple, because the Ethereum usage is not that great anymore. In 2020 and 2021, everyone was still using Ethereum, and it was a good idea to have a layer 2 that is scalable, that is cheap, and so on. So Polygon got a lot of traction back then, and it was one of my best investments in the past cycle, which did over 100x from my entry. But I'm not married to my bags, and I saw Ethereum going down in 2024, even in 2023 already, losing market share to players such as Solana. So there was no need anymore for a layer 2. And even if there was a need, the chances of it getting a good hype were rather small. And also there is so many good players right now. It's not only Polygon, you also have Optimism, Arbitrum, who, by the way, also are not doing very well, but there's a lot more options. So I think it was better to sell them and put it into something that I think the odds are better for, that they would perform in the next alt season or a potential bull market this year in 2025. So Polygon, it was 3% of my portfolio last year. I think it was number 5 or 6, and now it is out of my portfolio. The next two are honorable mentions. So these two were actually good pre-sale investments, ICO investments in 2024. ICO investing in 2024 was not the best idea. Most of them performed very badly. If you compare it to last few cycles, it's not that easy anymore to just throw money at things that are doing an ICO. No, it needs to be really good projects. And honestly, a lot of my pre-sales performed poorly in 2024, but these two were big winners. For those who don't know the logos here, the left one is Cookie Tree, which is an AI agent platform and did very well on the AI agent hype that we have seen recently. And the right one is Aether, that is a decentralized cloud computing platform where you can actually just rent out GPU power, let's say it like this, and it's picking up very nicely, doing really well right now. So these two were the two big ICO winners in my portfolio. I did not put them in the top 10 because also they are very small. I rather not put like very small holdings or like market caps. Well, Aether is still fine, but I don't want to put like smaller holdings and so on in my top 10, but I think both of them are actually also around 1% of my portfolio. Now let's dive into the top 10 of my portfolio. First of all, I also want to say that the numbers that you will see are actually changed. They changed recently because I converted some Bitcoin, because my Bitcoin holdings percentage wise, they went up so much. So I redistributed some Bitcoin holdings into altcoins. So they used to be like lower, the percentages, than they are right now. So let's dive into it. And the number 10 is basically also a new one in my portfolio, but it's not an unknown one. It is IOTA. It's 1% of my portfolio. It is a new one, but IOTA is actually doing very well. It's already there since 2015, and it's known especially because of its Tangle, which was an alternative to blockchain. As a distributed ledger technology, let's say. So it was an alternative to blockchain. It was very scalable. You could see it like more as a spider web. So yeah, it's a bit different than blockchain technology. But they recently changed their entire concept, and now it's actually also using Move, which is of course hyping up a lot. We see that with Aptos, Sui, Movement Labs, but it's also EVM. So IOTA doing really great, I think, with the rebranding or the rescoping of their concept. And I think they're pretty small still, but they have really great partnerships. They're already around for a long time. They have great reserves. I think they can really pull something off. So I put some In IOTA, it's doing well right now, so 1% of my portfolio. Then the next one, the number 9, is also 1%, just a little bit more than 1%. That is Beam. It used to be 3% last year because I sold half of my holdings around a half a year ago, more or less. This because of several reasons. First reason is because they screwed me over a little bit with the revenues that I got from staking my Beam for years. Basically, I couldn't unlock it in time. And I couldn't migrate it anymore to the new token. It used to be Mirrored Circle, now it became Beam. So I felt like a little bit screwed over. So yeah, I decided to sell half of my holdings, basically mainly because of this. But it's still a great gaming platform. It's still a great gaming project. So yeah, I believe a lot in Beam, and it's my main gaming holding. Then we have number 8, also a new one in my portfolio, which is Movement Labs. I already touched upon it very briefly when talking about IOTA. So Movement Labs is also a new project. It has a lot of hype, it has a lot of partnerships, it has a lot of momentum, and it is the first project that is using the Move virtual machine, but is also executing it on Ethereum. So basically also EVM. So Move and EVM. So I really like that combination. I think it is important for the future. That's also why I have IOTA. That's also why I have Movement Labs. So that is also why I added Movement Labs to my portfolio. So number 8, also a new one. Then number 7 is Origin Trail, ticker is TRACK. Used to be 2% of my portfolio, and right now it's also 2% of my portfolio. By the way, the number in gray is what it used to be 1 year ago, right? But I added a little bit of Origin Trail recently because I think they're doing very well. They also changed their scope. They're right now a full-blown AI data provider. So yeah, I mean, they're positioned very well actually in what they want to do. They're positioned very well within the AI niche and the data niche, and they have really great partners. So I'm already holding Origin Trail for I think 4 or 5 years now, and I'm happily continuing to do so. So Origin Trail, number 7, 2%. Then we go to another AI project, which is BitTensor, ticker is Tau. It's 4% of my portfolio, and it used to be 4% of my portfolio as well. So status quo, same percentage as well. BitTensor is, of course, let's say the decentralized ChatGPT if we talk about data as well. It is decentralized. It is it's self-training programs that basically you can add on the BitTensor network. So they have all these subnets, and these subnets are being auctioned, and there you can build your project upon the BitTensor network and upon the data that is feeding itself to the programs that are being built, to the applications that are being built on BitTensor. So I think BitTensor is actually a really great alternative to the likes of like Google and so on. Of course, Google and so on, they have their base of data as well, and they're building stuff on top of that. For example, Google has Gemini, their AI engine, or you have ChatGPT and so on. But the base of that is data. And BitTensor is enabling to build different kind of applications on top of that in a decentralized way. So it doesn't cost like hundreds of millions of dollars to train the next generation of these applications. So I think it will be more and more a bottleneck for traditional AI, let's say Web 2 AI. So we need to look at decentralized AI to make it scalable and to make it train itself more and more. So I talked about enough about BitTensor. It's one of my favorites for real on the long term in the AI, especially decentralized AI space in crypto. So happily holding BitTensor for the long term as well. Then we have Fetch.ai, another AI project. As you can see, I really am into the AI narrative in crypto, but I think it makes a lot of sense. AI is a major narrative in the Web 2 space, so that means it will also be continue to be a major narrative in the Web 3 space. It's like this throughout history of crypto. We saw that things that are hot and a hype in Web 2, they also become hot and a hype in Web 3. And of course, AI is one of the hot narratives basically everywhere. So Fetch.ai, the first AI platform, AI agents platform, in crypto. They did their ICO, I think it was 2018 or 2019. I'm holding it since the ICO already, so I'm holding it for 6-7 years already. having great partnerships, and it's more institutional based AI agents. So really interesting platform, really interesting team, really interesting concept that they have. And I think they're doing a good job right now, being one of the bigger AI projects. Same as BitTensor, by the way. Then number 4 is Solana. Solana is 9% of my portfolio. It used to be 5% of my portfolio. But of course, Solana was one of the best performers in 2024, stealing the market share from Ethereum. Their main use case in 2024, let's be honest about that, for now, it's still meme coins. So that is why it was such a big thing, had such a big amount of daily users and amount of transactions. But of course, Solana is able to do a lot more than just meme coins. So for the long term, I'm still holding Solana. I think it is the main competitor to Ethereum. So even if Ethereum really fails, I think Solana will really win. So I think it's good to hold both as a hedge against each other. Now, let's continue to the number 3. And that is Ethereum. So Ethereum used to be 15% of my portfolio. It is now 14% of my portfolio. It performed very poorly, but I added Ethereum to my portfolio. So I converted some Bitcoin into Ethereum, and that's why the percentage is higher than it would be if I wouldn't have done that. I think the percentage would have fallen from 15% to maybe 9-10%. So I added a bit of Ethereum because I think it still has its place in this industry. I still think it has the first mover advantage, the network effect, and so on that we actually talked about for years, but apparently it's not that important anymore. But I think Ethereum has its place in this industry and will come back. It will improve its technology. It will keep having like the highest activity in terms of developers and so on. We see that actually developers, they tried out some other platforms, but they return to Ethereum, or at least they don't stay at these platforms. I was looking at the statistics, even for example, for Movement Labs, for Sui, for Aptos, and so on. You saw a great inflow of developer activity there, amount of developers, but actually they left already again. So they tried it out, maybe didn't like it so much, and then returned to Ethereum or Solana. So that's a very interesting thing to follow on the longer term, what's going to happen with that developer activity. All right, so number 2 in my portfolio, of course, for many years already in the top 3, and that is, of course, Chainlink. So Chainlink used to be 19% of my portfolio. It is right now 20% of my portfolio. Chainlink is basically providing the infrastructure for blockchain usage on a global scale. How Sergey Nazarov recently compared it, I really like that. He said it's like the electricity net. You need to be connected on the electricity net to even receive some electricity for your lamp to be able to be turned on. And I think I really like that because you cannot build your own electricity net. You can do that, but I mean, it's very risky, and 2, it's not connected to any other devices. So it's very hard to do so. So basically what Chainlink is doing is providing the whole infrastructure, going from the putting off-chain data on-chain, doing the cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP, doing the proof of reserves, doing, of course, still the Oracle price data, and so on. So the whole base layer of what's needed to put everything on chain, Chainlink is building that. It has the most integrations of any crypto project in the world. It's still widely ignored. Why? Because it has no consumer application. It's more like B2B. They want like all these big institutions, they want governments, they want financial institutions, they want big companies and so on to be putting their data on chain and using Chainlink. But we as a consumer, we don't know really a lot what we have to do with the Chainlink platform or with the Link token, which is very different to, for example, Solana, where we make a phantom wallet, put Solana on there, and we buy meme coins, right? It has consumer application. So it's very, very different. But anyway, I know a lot of people will keep on laughing with the fact that I believe in Chainlink so tirelessly, but I think a market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So I believe in Chainlink. I will keep on believing in Chainlink, and I truly believe that this is going to be one of the winners in the long term. And then my number 1, it is Bitcoin. It's 44% of my portfolio right now. Used to be 35%. And actually before I even converted some Bitcoin to some altcoins, it was above 50%, but it was a bit too much. And I think altcoins really need their run right now. soon. Maybe that's next week, maybe that's next month or 2 months, I don't know. But altcoins, utility coins are primed for an alt season. So I think it was not a bad idea to convert some Bitcoin into altcoins. All right, guys, that was it for the video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to be subscribed to Coin Compass for everything crypto related, from trading to fundamental analysis. And I see you in the next video. Cheers. Bye-bye.